Hi guys, I'm Ivory and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to create this matte colorful eyeshadow look. Right off the bat, I have to give credit to Rocio Cervantes. She created this look on her channel and I fell in love with it. So I wanted to recreate it. I did not use the same products as her. I just looked at her photo and chose colors from different palettes that matched with the shadows. So I could have done the easy route and just bought the palette that she used, but I wanted to be resourceful. I will put up the original photo so that you can see what my inspiration was for this look. And if you haven't already, please follow her and subscribe to her. I will link all of her information in the description box below. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every single week, and be sure to also be following me on my social media. Everything is _ivorycherry. Let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I already did my base first. In Rocio's video, she did her base first, so then I did my base first. When I do a colorful eye like this, I really usually like to do the eyes first because of fallout, but seeing as I did one eye off of camera and the fallout wasn't too bad, I think we're Gucci. So right now I just have a little bit of foundation and concealer on the lid. This is dry now, but I want it to be a little bit tacky, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more concealer, and real quickly I'm just gonna blend that out. And then after I have concealer down, I'm going in with the Morphe M173 brush. I'm gonna dip into a matte white. I'm just gonna set my eyes. I want it to be a little bit brighter because then the colors are a lot more vibrant, and this isn't gonna make it stark white. I just want it a little bit brighter. All right, and then lastly, before we add actual pigment, I'm going in with the Urban Decay primer potion. An actual eye primer is essential. I did this eye off of camera and this is my second attempt. The first attempt I did not use an eye primer and it didn't look that great, so I went back, added an eye primer, and all is well. So crisis averted. And I'm gonna apply this all over the lid with my finger, and I really tap it in because I don't want to disturb the concealer situation underneath, and then it'll be sheared out, like it won't be as blank of a canvas. Okay, so now that everything is primed, I'm gonna start from inwards to outwards. For the tealy minty color, I'm going in with the NYX Ultimate eyeshadow palette. This is in the brights version. They have a neutrals version, but this is the colorful version. I am not a huge fan of this. The colors are kind of patchy. Some of them are good. This one is pretty good. I think this one's pretty good, and the one that I'm gonna use is pretty good, but everything else is just, it's not great. So with an e.l.f. eye crease brush, I'm gonna dip into this shade and I'm gonna really pack on that color and really just make sure that it's even all throughout the lid to the very top. Right now I'm sketching out the colors, and then once I'm done, I do go back in for a second layer or even like a third layer. I'm telling you right now, this is the type of look where you're gonna be going back and forth a lot with blending, with building up color, and then there's also making it like fade within each other. So this is a tedious process. After that color is down, in between each color, I'm using the same brush, but I'm just using a color switch. A color switch helps to take off the shadow so you can reuse the brush. It doesn't like super thoroughly clean them, but it gets off the shadow enough that you can dip into a totally different color, and the first color that was on the brush isn't going to affect the new color that you dip into. So the next color is this baby blue, and I am going into my Jeffree Star Cosmetics Blue Blood palette, and I am going into the shade Blue Blood. And again, I am doing the same technique, patting it in. And as you can see, I'm not going super high. It's because I know I'm going to be blending, and the blending will make it go a little bit higher. So right now I'm just keeping it kind of low. Like the farthest I'm going with each of the colors is a little bit above the socket of my eye. All right, so the next shade is like a darker blue. So I'm going into my James Charles palette. I'm gonna be dipping into the shade Brother, and I'm gonna put that right next to this baby blue. Now in Rocio's video, I don't think she used like a darker blue. I think that the purple she used mixed in with the baby blue to make a purple, but the first attempt that I tried to do that, it didn't make this dark blue. So I have to add the shade myself to achieve the same look. And I'm also gonna go into the shade Single, and I'm gonna place that right next to Brother. And this is the color where I start flicking things a little bit more upwards, just because I like when my shadow goes like more cat-like. And then lastly, with a Luxie 243 brush, I am going to mix both Single as well as Skip. And I'm gonna use this color to blend out Single. So this is just the first phase. So one thing that I always have a problem with is that in this area, it's always like patchy and like crusty, and no matter how much I pack pigment onto that spot, it never stays. So after everything is set down, I'm going in with just some plain water and I'm gonna spray this eye. And now that it's a little bit wet, I'm gonna go into every single shade again and I'm gonna add my second layer. But this time I'm also gonna be blending it upwards so that there's a nice fade. And on this layer, I'm going to be focusing more on making sure that all the colors blend into one another. So I've been following Rocio for what feels like eternity at this point, and I'm that creepy person that likes all of her videos, comments on them, and she almost always responds or says something really kind in return. The day that she followed me back on Instagram, I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, it can't be. This is not really happening. And then I went on her Instagram to look at her list of people that she's following, and my name was there, and I was like, oh my god, is this the real life? Or is this just fantasy? And then very recently, she actually contacted me. She's like, hey, I want to promote more people of color and just bring more attention to people who really deserve it. Is it okay if I give you a shout out on my Instagram stories? And I was like, oh my god, yes! Like, you don't even have to ask. Absolutely. I just thought that was so sweet of her. I never expected someone with her talent to think that I had potential, and it just meant so much to me. I cannot say enough things about her. I love her skin positivity. I love all of her looks. I feel like I could never meet her in person because I don't think I do well when someone of that stature is in front of me. Like, I feel like I would say something stupid and she'd be like, oh my god, get security. Okay, so I think that's about as good as it gets. I feel like this eye took so much less work than this eye. I don't know why this eye is so problematic. I say this all the time, but this eye is so much easier. Maybe it's because I'm left-handed. I don't know. But this eye always blends better. It always looks a little bit better. And it's just like, Ivory, help me help you. But this eye is trying to stop me from achieving my dreams. I'm next gonna add a wing. I'm using my Sigma gel liner in the color Wicked and using my Sigma E06 winged liner brush. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on my lower lash line now. In the photo, I do see that she added the same colors in the actual waterline. So I'm gonna go in with a white eyeliner. This one is by Rimmel, and I'm gonna add that as my base. And then with an e.l.f. eyeliner brush, I'm gonna take the 4 primary colors, which is the mint green, the baby blue, the purple, as well as the pink. And I'm gonna add each of those colors into the waterline. Okay, and then with a pencil brush, I'm going into the 4 colors again, and I'm gonna apply that underneath the lash line. And in between each shade, I'm gonna be using a color switch so I can still use the same brush for every single color. I'm next gonna apply mascara to both my top and bottom lashes. I'm using the Sigma Sinuosity Lash Mascara, which is my favorite mascara at the moment. And then for lashes, I'll be using the Cuckoo lashes in the style 301. These are on Amazon and they're only $3. I just ordered a bunch more on Amazon just because I love this style. Do you see the difference that they make? It's just, they're just praising Jesus. Okay, we have one last step for the eyes. It feels like it's never ending. I'm going in with the Morphe M24 brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Cullinan from the Blue Blood palette, and I'm gonna add that to my brow bone. And I'm also gonna use a Morphe M431 brush. I'm gonna dip into the same shade, and I'm gonna add that into my inner corner. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, I'm gonna move back into my base. I really only have the bare minimum, which is foundation, concealer, and eye set. Her skin looks a lot more radiant than mine, so I think I should probably add some glowiness back. I'm gonna mix in both my Maybelline Fit Me foundation powder, and I mix it with my Milani bronzer, and I kind of just apply that all over the face. So it'll give me a little bit of color and glow. And I'm also gonna take a Morphe E48 brush, and I'm gonna dip into some banana powder. I almost never do this, but today I feel like doing it. And I'm just gonna brighten up my under eyes just a smidge. I'm next gonna go into my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm gonna use that to contour my face. Nowadays, if I'm gonna do an eye look like this, I usually do it first because, like I said, of fallout reasons. But one of the nice things about doing your base first and then doing the eyes is sometimes when you have nothing on the face and then you just do the eyes, like you can't see the full picture. Like it looks bad because you can't envision the whole thing yet. I think it's because I get too distracted with my acne. Like I can't focus on the eye look until it's covered up. For blush, I am going to mix both the Milani Luminoso, but I also want to mix in this blush, which is from a kit from BH Cosmetics. I will link it down below, but it came in like a blush, contour, and highlight palette. And I'm just gonna dab that onto my cheeks. But I'm gonna add more of the BH Cosmetics one because in her look, it was a lot more pink, whereas the Luminoso is more peachy. I'm next gonna carve out my cheekbones. I'm going in with the Flower Beauty Translucent Finishing Powder. I finally finished my Coty Airspun. I can't believe it. This is the second time I've used it. So far, I really, really like it. The only thing that sucks is it's more expensive than the Coty Airspun and there's less product. But in terms of quality, I actually like this powder more. And I don't know if you remember, but I never trust powders when they say that they're translucent because they always lighten up the skin a little bit. But this one, it doesn't. This is actually a translucent powder. And when you apply it and you touch your skin, it just feels so velvety soft. I can't explain it. You have to buy it to fully understand it because even the high-end powders that I've tried, it does not have the same type of feel. It's indescribable. You just have to get it, okay? And while this is baking, I am gonna highlight today because she does have highlight on. It looks like it's white, but I can't really tell. So I'm gonna go in between like a white pink highlighter with my Mint Pear M64 brush. I'm going into this highlighter shade, which is a frosty pink. It was in the same BH Cosmetics palette as this blush. And I'm gonna apply that to the tops of my cheekbones. And with a little pencil brush, I'm gonna add this to the nose as well. Then I'm gonna wipe off the bake. And then for lips, I'm just gonna do like a really light pink. So I'm going in with the Beauty Glazed Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade Cocoa K. These are from Amazon. They are a bestseller and they are so good. They are a dupe for the Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipsticks, and they even have the same names as the original lipsticks of hers, but they are a fraction of the price. So if you want her products, try these first. And then lastly, I'm gonna add a little bit of chapstick to make this shiny. I'm pretty sure she uses a gloss, but I don't really like glosses, so I will compromise with this. And this is the final look, guys. What do we think in comparison? I'm gonna take that silence as approval. So that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Life is just